It's your girl Barbie J here, and we are talking about Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, Season 1, Episode 102. See, some people write just 2, but when I look on my TV, it says 102, so I don't know. And it's Reaping and Sowing. So we're going to find out who's been reaping and who's been sowing, honey. And you know what I saw about this? This episode was directed by Mario Van Peebles. I haven't seen his name around in a long time. So that was wonderful to see that come up. But before we get started, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please take a moment right now, click, and subscribe. Hit that little subscribe button. And then if you want to be notified every time Barbie J uploads a new video, just hit the notification bell and it will let you know. Okay? So what I need you to do on my channel is like, comment, share, and subscribe. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And you can help Barbie J's channel grow. Thank you. So let's jump right into this episode. Okay, so this episode, Rock is basically trying to do whatever is necessary to get the target off of Kanan's back. But I don't know if it's working. We'll see. So it starts off with her warning her son. You know, they at the breakfast table eating breakfast, and she's warning him that he must, keep his eyes open at all times. Because the family of Buck 20, they want to know who did it, and they want to get revenge. And Kanan's kind of like not really paying attention, like, nah, I'm good, and she's trying to talk to you. You know how when you're a parent, you're talking to your child, they act like they know everything, or they can handle it, and they really can't. And she's like, Kanan, she's just like, listen to me, please, just listen to me. And I don't think that he's understanding or realizing the seriousness and magnitude of his and D-Wiz's actions. It's ridiculous. So he keeps saying he's good, and then he leaves and said he's late for school and stuff. But she told him, Kanan, before he left, she told him to, keep your eyes open at all times. You must keep your eyes open at all times. So he goes outside, and he happens to kick one of those shell casings from the night before. And he picks it up. And when he's picking it up, looking at it, he's not paying attention. And she's looking out the door, and she sees that car driving up real slow and somebody coming out the back window. And she comes out and yells, Kanan. And he turns around as the guy throws a telephone book out the window. I said, y'all remember that when they used to deliver those telephone books? That was funny. So that's what it was. And then she was like, you know what? I'll just take you to school. So she drove him to school, and in the car, he's like questioning her about being in the business. You said, and when we shot off that you would put me in the business, she said, that's what I'm trying to tell you, Kanan, you've been in the business. Once you pull that trigger, you in it. There ain't no turning back. She said, people are talking and pointing fingers, and don't be surprised if they talking about you and your friends. And she said, she's scared. She's scared, and she's telling him he must be scared too. He said, because that fear is what's going to keep you awake and keep you alive. So be scared. Scared for them or scared for me. So he looked at her and he said, I'm scared. And she was like, okay. So then he gets into school, and there's a fight going on. And the girl he likes, Davina, is fighting with another girl who was messing with or seeing Buck 20 as well. So they was thrown down. The principal comes, clears it up, and what is it? It was something. Hold on. Oh, D-Wiz was saying, oh, she got hot, and Jukebox is saying, yeah, fighting. They both fighting over a dead nigga. Don't get no stupider than that. And I said, you know what? D-Wiz is right about that. They fighting over it, but later, we learned that Davina. It wasn't, she didn't care that he was seeing the girl. She just didn't like people saying negative stuff about him after he was dead. So they show Rock and Lulu and Marvin. They in a diner talking, and she told Marvin to pick up Kanan after school and take him to the stash to post up there for a while. And then Lulu was talking about, speaking of the stash, the Kanan soon gonna find out that we stealing their electricity. I said, damn, y'all just stealing electricity and stuff. So she was saying, yeah, we need a new spot. We too exposed in that current place and we need a cover. And so Marvin is saying he had a friend that might have something, but then Lulu said this lady at the bodega might have a spot. She had reached out to him. So they said they was gonna go check that out. In the meantime, Marvin told me, yo, I'm gonna have a party, y'all, and they looking at him like, you think about having a damn party with all this shit going on? But that's what he did. And then it switched to, what was it? Rock meeting with Unique. And Unique is telling her that, Buck's folks are angry. And, he said, I called all my people off, but I can't be held accountable for, what did he say? Citizens. He said, I can't be accountable for citizens exercising their God-given right to hit the fuck back. I said, oh, damn. I was like, okay. But he said, I did all I can do. That's all I got for you, So then it switches to, was it Famous is at school, and he's telling Kanan people are talking. His sister was at the nail salon, heard people talking and stuff, and Jukebox was asking Kanan, is he okay? And D-Wiz is like, Kanan just mad because I'm the one that, capped that, like his bullet's the one that killed him and all this stuff. And he said, you can have that. He said, but ain't no reason you should be even talking about that out loud in front of people or something like that, he said. So I was like, oh, this might be the reason why what happens at the end happens at the end, if y'all know what I mean. So Detective Howard, he's with his partner in the car, and she's sitting in there saying, I guess we need to talk to this person and that person. She's saying their real full names, and he's looking at her like she crazy, and he's giving her their street names because nobody knows them as those regular names. They know them as the street names. So she's like, they talking about Buck 20's family. And she said, I guess we should start with the mother and the father. And he's like, she said, Captain wants to, get this case closed. He said, Cap don't give a F about Buck or his mama. He just don't want any more Buck 20s dropping on the south side anytime soon. Meaning they don't want no more bodies. So that's why he goes and talks to, he drive him and his partner leave, and they go to this fashion spot, which is Unique's place. And he tells his partner she got to stay in the damn car. She's like, what? I didn't go all these years to freaking school and do this, to do that. And she was just fussing. And she's like, fuck you, and blah, blah, blah. She's going off on him. And he said, that's right. You don't take no mess from nobody. Not even me. But your ass staying in this car. And he left her in the damn car. So he goes to the back of the shop and he speaks to Unique, and they go outside and he makes a deal with him. And first he said, we know that one of the worst things to happen to the South Side is Raquel taking over for High Post. Remember, High Post was Raquel's boyfriend at the time. So he said there could only be one king. Only one king could run the kingdom. There's only one rule, and I'm betting on you. I was like, okay. So Unique was like, okay, good bet, detective. So the detective Howard told him, you make sure there's no more bodies, and I'll make sure you're sitting on a throne. I said, well, look at that. Does that make him a dirty cop? Is that what he is, a dirty cop? So then they show him Marvin. He's going into the damn club and messing with Symphony, and introduces himself to him. Because Symphony's the defined dude who's seeing rock now. And so he goes in the back to see that lady Tony whose dog got microwave, and she's sniffing coke in the back, and he wants to throw his party, and she's like, it's too short a notice, and he did something or said something and made her laugh, and she was telling him how funny he was. She said, but your sister's a bitch. She said, I thought she might be the one who killed my dog. He said, nah, she love animals. She wouldn't do that. And matter of fact, she like you. She said you was a tough white chick. And that's a compliment because she hate white people just on principle. And that's how I prayed. He's like, I said, damn, he lied. And so she said, okay to his party. But he got to pay a DJ, and he's like, done. He said, but you got to save me a dance. I don't know how to dance. He said, don't worry. I dance well enough for both of us, and he doing all that. So he made her laugh, and I'm like, okay. I don't know how Rock gonna feel about this, especially at the ending part. But then, what else happened? They show Kanan and his crew walking home from school, and Marvin rolls up and tells Kanan to get in, time to go to work. And he asks his jukebox if she need a ride. She said, I'm good. He said, I know you good. I'm asking, do you need a ride? She said, Dad, no, I don't need a ride. So then what happened? Rock and Lulu show up at that bodega to do some business, and they see what's their names? Famous and D Wiz, and they gave him some money, and they said it's on me. Lulu give him money, and then Lulu tells Thomas, Famous, to put in a good word with his sister. Famous start acting all stupid. Oh, my sister I don't even get to see my sister. Don't y'all live in the same house? Yeah, but well, when you're sitting down eating breakfast and cereal together, she said, nah, my sister don't kind of like eat cereal. He's like, nigga. And then Rock told him chill. So they go into the dead bodega and stuff. And they get into the bodega because just to let y'all know, in the last episode, Famous told Kanan he didn't want his brother talking to his sister because she can't handle that life, whatever it was. Anyway, so they go into the bodega. He's like, hey, mommy, talking to the lady. And then she's looking sad, and he's looking at her, and she got a black eye. And the husband come from the back and say, who are you? How you know my wife? And so Rock starts speaking and stuff. So they go to the back to do some business and talking. And he keeps looking at Lulu, like for Lulu to answer. And Lulu's like, I don't know why the F you keep looking at me. She the one to make the decision. See, this is a man from wherever, Colombia, wherever they from, that they don't think women should be in charge of nothing. So they don't have no respect for them, So she said, asked him, was he down or what? Because the guy was like, he want a part of the cut in something. He said, Lulu said, you want a part of the cut? You gonna get your ass out on that street and do some work too, like the rest of us. So they said, ain't nobody getting no cut. This is what we offering. Take it or leave it. If you don't, she said, we gonna be good anyway. So he looking at her and looking at Lulu, and he looked back at her and said, okay, I take it. And Lulu's like, don't look at me, So Marvin drops Kanan off at the stash house, and Kanan don't look like he's happy. He's looking at the place like, what is this? And there's some other guy there who's just ignoring him. I think that's the guy who gave Rock the dog collar when they killed that dog. He gave her, and I think he was in the hospital with her when Rock went in that hospital that day to see one of her boys, the guys that got hurt. But anyway, he catches, the next day when they there, he catches Kanan snooping around and trying to find it and said, what's behind this door? Don't worry what the fuck behind that door. He said, my mom put me here and said, you supposed to help me. You supposed to teach me. He said, I ain't supposed to effing teach you nothing. Your mom sent you here to keep your dumb ass off the street. He said, I'm your goddamn babysitter, not your teacher. And so Kanan is really pissed about that. And he goes home complaining. But in the meantime, when Marvin picked him up, Jukebox went to sell. She went on the street. They showed a scene of her selling some goods, like jackets and stuff, with this other kid on the street. And she's negotiating with these people, and she's good at the negotiation, man. She sold that jacket for $250. The other guy couldn't sell nothing for more than $20, So she had money. And then she went and met up with her white friend. What's her name? Nicole. So she met up with Nicole, and they in a clothing store shopping, and Nicole wants her to go to this debutante ball or whatever. And she said, you still think I'm going to that white girl ball with you, party with you? She said, it's not a white girl dance, and it's a ball. And, so she looks at the price on something, and she didn't like the price. And Nicole was like, I'll pay for it for you. And she's like, I'm not your goddamn charity case. You think I can't pay for my own stuff? I got my own money. And she just caught a real attitude quick and ran out the store. And the girl ran after her. She's like, Laverne. It's so funny hearing I say Laverne. Where you come on? I'm sorry. They're out on the street now. And she said, I was thinking. And she said, you know what? I don't know what I was thinking. She's like, she said, I'm just a dumb girl, a stupid girl from the Upper East Side, or she said Lower East Side, I don't know, from the East Side. And she said, where I'm from, when you like somebody, you don't mind buying them things. So that's why I did it. She said, but to be honest, that shirt was ugly. I didn't like it anyway. But if you liked it, she said, you said you liked it. She said, because if you liked it, I liked it. And you know, when you liking somebody, you like whatever they like and whatever they do. And so they were holding hands or something, and I think it looked like it's Jukebox who leans in first to start kissing her, and they kissing out on the street, and I'm shocked. I'm like totally shocked that Jukebox was kissing the girl, because she was scared to even make it known, but to do it out on the street and don't care who's watching was interesting. Then it went to a scene with was it Rock was asking Kanan how his day was at the stash house, and then she goes downstairs, and she's talking with her brothers. They there, and she said, your party's tonight, right, tomorrow? And he said, yeah. And so she looked at Lulu and said, maybe it's time to get your Reggie Jackson on. And he looked at her. You saw his face, he froze, and he looked at her, and she said, I don't like this no better than you do. And he got mad and got up and walked out. And Marvin sitting there going, what the hell my party got to do with Reggie Jackson? She said, it's work. It's just work or something like that, and left it alone. I was like, damn, he an airhead sometimes, that doggone Marvin. But that scene, I'm telling you, with Nicole and Jukebox, was very interesting, and I'm interested in seeing more of that. Y'all let me know down in the comment section how you feel about that scene and what you thought about it. But it just, it was almost like this is almost like a love story with them two, the white girl, the black girl, and two worlds that, let me stop. But that's what I was feeling at that moment. But to see them do that kiss, and it was so tender and so gentle and so loving, and I was like, wow. Young love. No, let me stop. Anyway. You know what? I just remember what it was. When she said, I like what you like, that's when Jukebox said, well, I like you. And Jukebox did lean in to start kissing her. But I'm digging the bamboo earrings from the 80s. I said, look at that, Jukebox got the bamboo earrings. At least 2 pair. I'm talking about, I went to LL Cool J. I like a girl with bamboo earrings, at least 2 pair. Come on now. Anyway, so then Rock is getting ready for her date with Symphony, and of course Kanan coming there talking about, oh, you put me in the stash house, just leave me there to babysit and da-da. She said, before you go into all of that, let me just tell you, I had to do the same thing. Your father had me do the same thing. You got to walk before you could crawl. You got to crawl before you could walk. And she was saying how, you put them in there to see if they learn how to follow orders and how to listen. To be a good leader, you have to do all of these things, so you're learning. So you just have to sit there and go through that to see with all of these things that supposed to make you strong. And so she went through that all that, and then he's like, well, Ma, why you dressed up and stuff? Where you going? No, I'm just going out for a night and stuff. And he looking her up and down. And I know that look when sons are looking at their mothers going out on a date, because my son used to do that to me. Lord help me. But she's like, no, I'm just going out. She said, look, I bought you New Jack City DVD, or not DVD, video. I don't know if it was DVD or not. But anyway, she said, you should invite a friend over. What about D-Wiz? I'm sure he want to get out the projects. So, of course, he called D-Wiz to go and everything. And when D-Wiz was on his way to the house, Lulu went and picked him up, drove up, picked him up and told him that there was a party downtown. He said, no, I'm going to meet Kanan. He said, no, Kanan didn't tell you things change. He going to be at the party downtown. Get in the car. So, D-Wiz is hesitant to get in the car. And then they show Jukebox getting off the bus. And she gets off the bus just in time to walk to the corner and see D-Wiz getting in the car with her Uncle Lulu. So, that look on her face, I don't know what it was. Like, she know there's a problem if he's getting in the car, or she just avoided running into him. She didn't want him seeing her coming home at the time. I don't know what it was. But anyway, I was like, if anybody have an idea in the comment section, y'all let me know. So, anyway, who does it go to next? Lulu told him when he got in the car, you're going to have the best night of your life. And he's like, I am. Okay. I mean, for this kid to be one who pulled out a gun and was shooting, he act like a damn scaredy cat. He just, maybe because it was Lulu, but he just gave me that scaredy cat vibe, you know. So Kanan is in the house waiting for him to come, and he sees Davina out the window. He runs out there and said, "Davina, what's going on?" And he's talking to her, and she stopped and was talking to him. And he looked at her little sister. "Oh, that's your little sister? Yeah, she only goes to sleep when she's out of the house and feels safe. She must know to be afraid of my mother or something. I don't know." She said something like that, which was crazy. And she said they had an article about what's his name? Lord Jesus. They had an article about Buck 20 and only 4 lines. She said, "I wonder how many lines they'll have for me, you know, in the obituary section." And she said, "I know that y'all been, you know, I heard that y'all had a beef and you might have had something to do." And she said, "No, don't listen to that. That's just lies." He's telling her. And she's like, "Okay." So she leaves, but he let her know he's waiting for D Wiz, but he don't know what's taking him so long. So then it switches over to what's her name? Oh, Rock. And she's out on the fire escape, not fire escape, Lord help me, terrace, talking to Symphony, and they having a little conversation, and they go in, they talk about the projects. He started talking all that, you know, urban stuff to her. So she was enjoying that. And I always thought that was a nice scene to see a softer side of her, because though see her always, you know, being hard, it takes away from a woman's like sexuality, I guess. I mean, that's what I'm saying. But then all of a sudden, it switches to Laverne Jukebox, looking at herself in the mirror singing, "You give good love to me." She was tearing up Whitney Houston. "You give good love to me, baby. So good, make this heart of mine into your hands. You give good love to me." And so while she's singing that, you seeing all the different love scenes. You see Rock with Symphony, and they go inside, and she trying to unbuckle his pants, and he said, "No, I thought we should take it a little slow." And she said, "Oh, okay." And she zips down that leather dress she had on. I love this shit. She zipped it all the way down and opened it up, and she had on her little sexy lingerie and stuff. And she said, "F that shit." And she like grabbed him, like they went in there and was doing it. And they still got Laverne singing in the background. And then they showed, what's that at the same time when they showed at the club, you see Lulu with D Wiz, Lulu with D Wiz, and he's like, "Yo, have you met Amber?" And he shows her, you know, introduces her to Amber, and Amber's he said, "You know what, you can learn something from Amber's expertise." And he said, I can? And he's busy like, "But when Kanan getting here?" He said, he on his way here. And he give Amber money. Now, you don't know the Amber a hooker, D-Wiz. You don't know what a hooker is. So he go in the back with her, and he turning around looking like he's scared. He don't know about to happen to him. And she went in the back and had him hitting her from the back. They was getting, he was making all the faces. It was so funny. I was like, was that his first time having sex or what? I don't know if it was or wasn't. But they in high school, so I don't know. It could have been his first time. But he was getting it in. There was, So when they finally left the club, who you see? You see Marvin got into a fight with some white guys who were disrespecting the white girl. I forgot her name, Tony. And, and they were grabbing on her. He punched the guy out, and then another white guy punched him, and they was fighting. So while Lulu and D-Wiz are coming out, he said, "Yo, they jumping Marvin. We got to go." He said, "Nah, Marvin could take care of himself." And he just pushed D-Wiz to keep going. Lulu pushed him. So Marvin getting into this fight with these people. He got his people in line waiting to get in. All of this is going down. And the police come, and she's like, "Oh, Marvin, I'm so sorry. This is happening to you." This the girl, Tony. She said, "I never had anybody stand up for me and fight for me before." He said, "Yo, nobody disrespects my girl." Or what? All of a sudden she his girl? I said, "Whoa, that Marvin ain't got a damn bit of sense." When Rock find out about this, she gonna lose it because she don't like that chick. So She said, oh, and she kissed him. The white girl kissed him. You know, she was so happy, and it's like, oh, I see you. He's like, that's right. And so I don't know what happened to him with that. But then it flashes to that scene with uh I think she's still singing "You Give Good Love to Me," and they peeing up against the wall. Lulu and D Wiz are having this moment where they're peeing up against the wall, and he's so excited. Yo, this was good. You got her number. Forget Kanan. Too bad he missed a good party. Oh my God. He said, yo, you got her number, Lulu? And when he looked at Lulu, Lulu had a gun in his hand pointing at him and just shot him. And you could see the pain in Lulu's face for having to do that. It was just heartbreaking. I was just like, I couldn't even stand it. I couldn't stand it. It was so sad. You know, and then he went and called Rock and told her home run. And she just looked, you know, she was in the bed with that guy. Well, the guy had just stepped away. So that's basically, I think, how it ended. I didn't like that ending. I don't like that D Wiz had to die. But I'm getting into the show. But we'll see how it goes next week. I'm catching up, y'all, because I started late. So I guess Sunday you get your next recap, review from me. So don't forget, leave information, your comments down in the comment section. Also, what did I tell you earlier? Like, share, comment, subscribe. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Thank you. This your girl Barbie J saying peace.